Levarme la moustache en la capucha. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki puneti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki puneti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki puneti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki tacatiki. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki puneti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki puneti. Casito patanilo, mira tacatiki puneti. Casani levarme la moustache en la capucha.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, the real voice of the people, and this is the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. So today, of course, we got the release of the name. That was something that was big. Seemed like it was kind of like a waste of time, to be honest with you. I sat up there and was trying my best to look at the whole thing that came on the Today Show, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The best thing about that whole Today Show thing was the guy who held up the sign that said, "I don't know why we doing this in New York." Thought it was the funniest thing ever. The people who were the newscasters, they were laughing at the sign and stuff like that. So to me, that was probably the most entertaining part of the whole broadcast. Quite disappointed in Jason Wright's answer in regards to why they chose Commanders. Me personally, I think it was their way of actually saying presidents, but because the other term for the president is commander-in-chief. So I think that with the commanders part, they associated with the military and at the same time associated with the fact that it's the home of the presidents. So it was a waste. It is sad because I feel that this whole thing was a marketing ploy, not just for the Today Show, but also for Washington as a whole. I think that some of the leaks that happened in regards to the name were on purpose. I know that some people may say, "Oh, that can't be true." I think that they were. And I'm going to tell you why. I think that it goes along with the whole thing of like, when you listen to a radio station and you hear a song for the first time and you like, "Man, that song is crap." But then they play it over and over and over and over and over again. And then finally you're just like, all right, well, hey, this beat is catchy. And then you're jamming to the beat. But yet and still, you at that point, you didn't forgot how much you hated the song the first time you heard it. Like, a prime example is the Commander's name. It reminds me of Juvenile's Ha. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we first heard that song, I remember first hearing that song in D.C., and it was like, he wasn't even, it was like the man was having a damn conversation until the chorus part. And it was just, and it gives you that type of thing. But that song played over and over and over and over again. So next thing you know, everybody's talking about something. You a big wig or whatever the name, whatever that chorus was. But it was just that thing where it played over and over and over again. And I feel that we got suckered into this as well. That if they said the name over and over again, and everybody that's out there talking about the Commanders, it's going to be the Commanders, the Commanders, the Commanders, the Commanders, the Commanders. Eventually, we were all just like, all right, well, it's the Commanders, And then when then we get the photo from the helicopter, and next thing you know, it's like they release it on TV, and it was nothing. It was no fanfare. It was no real, like, excitement about it. It was just like, all right. So, for me, I feel that the whole thing was a marketing ploy. I could be wrong. But for me, I just feel that a lot of people probably didn't like the name. And they just felt if they kept sitting there telling everybody and everybody kept saying it over and over again, that eventually everybody would be like, well, I'm not as mad as I was when I first heard the name, but now it's like I've accepted it now. So I feel that it's been a marketing ploy the whole time. But again, some of the things that I did like the uniforms. The only thing I didn't like about the uniforms, I have to admit, I didn't like the W. I mean, they could have just went with a more solid W like they did with the football team. So for me, that was kind of like weird. I didn't like the nameplate on the black uniforms. Like, I didn't see a reason for there to be like this small Commanders like name tag that was there. I didn't really like that. But other than that, the uniforms don't look bad. They really don't. I wonder when they're gonna wear the black uniforms. Like, are those gonna be like special occasion uniforms? I don't know. So for me, it was a quite disappointing thing. To be quite honest, the Commanders, I mean, I actually like it better in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Los Comandantes, like that sounds more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the Commanders, that's just whatever. And I know that there's nothing we can do and we can't really be mad about this, but it's sad, man. I mean, this is the history of this city sometimes. Like, I remember when we transferred from the Bullets to the Wizards, and I remember the day Jay Leno made the joke on the Tonight Show where he talked about how the crime rate in DC was how DC became the murder capital of the U.S. And it was like, and he said, yeah, that's why it's befitting that they would name their basketball team the Bullets. And then there was this rush to get rid of the name. And then when we replaced the name, it was with the Wizards. Like, even now, a lot of us still don't like the name, but it's like we've come to accept it. It's just like, all right, it is what it is. It's nothing we can do about it. The same thing applies to this. It is what it is. It's nothing we can do about it. I really wish they could have pushed more for like the Red Wolves or something like that. That would have been nice. It would have been nice even if they did something with the Hogs. Like, I felt that they had that trademark available to them, which was the Washington Warthogs. I mean, that would have been nice. That would have been a nice little thing. Because, again, it still kind of relates back to the history of the city, the team, and everything. This particular name doesn't do that. And I don't know. We got next year to really go through this and find out exactly what the hell is going on. Because, again, I don't like the name. I personally don't. But it is what it is. I mean, I bought Wizards gear and stuff like that. I remember when the Nets came, I really didn't like the Nationals. I didn't like that as a name because it's such a, like, if you really think about Washington sports teams as a whole, our entire team, all of our teams have like the most generic names for every team. I mean, we got the DC United. What? The United? What? The Washington Capitals. The Washington Nationals. The Washington Wizards. The Washington Mystics. In fact, the Mystics might actually be the best name out of them all. I mean, we got the Spirit. We got, what else? And of course now the Commanders. We just got a lot of, and remember, hell, we had that arena team, the Valor. I mean, we got like our teams, when it comes to our sports teams in this city of Washington, all of our teams have these generic names. All of them. Every last one of them has generic names except for the Mystics. The Mystics is the only one that's like, all right, that's kind of cool. But everybody else, it's just like this generic blandness. And that's not even representative of the city. Like, the city isn't generic and it isn't bland, but the fact that all our sports teams has just these generic, bland names that, I mean, hell. I mean, I like the fact that there are some cities that have like teams that have like really aggressive names and stuff like that for their teams, but it's like, man, like what can we do at this point? I mean, I've been over us having all these teams with these generic names, and now Commanders. Los Commanders. I like the way that sounds. Los Commanders. Like, that sounds like you ready to fight, but the Commanders. It's like, I guess. Then I heard Jason Wright talk about a theme song that he was going to plan on doing. The only thing he could come up with is something that's like maybe a rap thing, Maybe it could be Juvenile's joint, huh? You know what I'm saying? You want to be called the Commanders, huh? You don't want to be the Redskins no more, huh? Ron Rivera be saying this and then go say something else, huh? Then all of a sudden you sitting up there trying to find out if Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen really like each other, huh? You know what I mean? Man. But I'm not going to be mad. No matter what, Washington is my city, and I'm going to support the teams no matter what. But another generic name added to the book of generic names when it comes to our sports teams. Man, sometimes we really do suck. This has been your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.